20th of April 1995. After 92 years, this was the day Middlesbrough Football Club staged their final match at Ayresome Park. An historic occasion destined for a special place in the hearts of everyone who loved the borough. Some of the club's most famous names turned up to pay their last respects.
Supporting as well, and still with White, and Hendry! Goal! Borough! John Hendry! Hendry's second! And Middlesbrough back in charge!
But it was not just an emotional farewell. The final victory over Luton Town was to prove enough to claim the First Division Championship and promotion to the Premiership at the first attempt for new player boss Brian Robson. Farewell to Ayresome Park is a unique record of the day the borough gave their fans the perfect leaving party before the move to their new home, the Riverside Stadium. It was an occasion not to be missed. A full house was guaranteed and supporters arrived bright and early.
What do you think of the new ground?
Fantastic. Step forward for Middlesbrough Football Club, definitely.
And it's going to be Premier League football for Middlesbrough?
Oh, no question, no question.
We'll win today, 2-0. Nobody's going to touch us. We've got the championship. That's ours.
What's your first memories of Ayresome Park?
Oh, too many. Have you got about an hour left?
There was a warm reception for the borough heroes of old who arrived on a special team coach.
I remember when we played in 73-74 under Jack Charlton, and we walked away with the second division at that time. And really the atmosphere around the club for the last month or so was really fantastic. A party atmosphere, and hopefully it'll be the same today.
April the 6th, 1974. And Ayresome Park salute the team that ended a 20-year exile from the First Division. Jack Charlton's men had just rattled off their 9th win in a row. The second division title had already been guaranteed with 6 games left. Big Jack had inherited most of his team from Stan Anderson. Charlton made them unstoppable, with Celtic's gifted Bobby Murdoch his inspired key signing. Ayresome Park became a fortress. 20 home games without defeat. These were the days when the manager's wife worked in the club shop. The players who made up that team became the backbone of Borough's history. Right back John Craggs topped the loyalty list, with 8 of them passing the 300-game mark, including his fullback partner Frank Spraggan. Striker John Hickton was a well-established crowd favourite, and Holgate Enders really took to leading scorer Alan Foggan, a genuine North East character. Exciting youngsters made their mark too, like livewire David Mills. David Armstrong began a quite astonishing run of playing every game for 7 seasons. Then Graham Souness, a Scottish midfielder rejected by Spurs, was on his way to world stardom. But in typical Charlton style, success was based on defence. Skipper Stuart Bohm was a man of granite. Cultured Willie Madron a perfect partner at the back. Irish keeper Jim Platt let in just 30 league goals. It all added up to Big Jack giving Ayresome Park its most successful team in 92 years of league football. Around 100 borough old boys from 7 different decades had made it to the Ayresome Park leaving party, the VIP marquee a real who's who of Middlesbrough's Hall of Fame.
That was the dream from leaving school, play at Ayresome Park. You know, there was no wanting to go to Manchester United and things like that. The local clubs then was the main issue.
There's been some great times, you know. Obviously the playoffs against Bradford City, Chelsea. I was fortunate to score goals in those games. The 4-1 game we beat Newcastle United. And then there was a semi-final which I scored, unfortunately, again. It was against Aston Villa. It took us to Wembley for the first time in the club's history. So those are great memories.
Slaven was a member of the team that won promotion less than a year after the borough almost went out of business. Ayresome Park looked to have staged its final game in 1986, when the official receiver moved in to shut the gates on Middlesbrough's football future. In the summer of '86, no one dared imagine the ground would celebrate scenes like these less than 12 months later. This man was the inspiration, Bruce Rioch. September 2nd, 1986, and possibly the most important cup tie in Boro history. Hartlepool in the Littlewoods Cup, and Ayresome Park was back in business. Fittingly, Boro celebrated with a fine goal by Stuart Ripley, one of the hardcore of young local talent, around which Rioch and Colin Todd rebuilt Teesside football. The new manager inherited a club that had slid into the third division for only the second time. They stayed just one season. The promotion celebrations had a deeper meaning after near extinction. But Rioch had created a driving force that wouldn't stop. On the pitch, he could rely on another all-time Boro great, Tony Mowbray. Mowbray was a player of true grit. Alongside him, a talent destined to be a star, Gary Pallister. The fans felt this was really their team, not big money buys. The players were fully developed, like top scorer Bernie Slaven. At £25,000, surely the Boro's best ever bargain. Home defeat by Leicester in the final home match gave Boro one of the worst days, with automatic promotion snatched away. Yet this team's spirit was to win through. The playoffs gave Teesside unforgettable drama and First Division status once again. This time it really was the final league match at Ayresome Park. A day for the men who made Boro history to bid a fond farewell to the famous old stadium. Some had said goodbye a few weeks earlier. Brian Clough missed the final day at Ayresome Park. He made his final visit 12 weeks before the end of the season. The launch of his new book coincided with the club's celebration of George Hardwick's 75th birthday.
Nice to meet you again. Thanks, Ben. Right, bye. Thanks for looking after me when I was a villain. I will. You're welcome.
In his playing days, Clough scored 204 goals for Boro in just 222 games. Now, well into retirement, Clough still hasn't lost his touch in front of the cameras.
Wilf used to do this pitch.
Brian, was it a special? Was it a special?
Shut up when I'm talking, man. One of the arts of being interviewed or being an interviewer is just delay after you've asked the question, and then you get a lot of answers.
Okay, buddy.
All right, and relax, man.
Right. Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
You look older.
Thanks, man. You look younger.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm only kidding.
This was your hometown club, of course. Was it special? Was it special for you to play all these games for your hometown club? Was it a special time for you playing for your hometown club?
Well, it was the only thing I could do. It was either that or being a messenger boy in the ICI, and I wasn't too keen on that. And I couldn't read very well in those days. To be fair, I'm not too clever now. And I couldn't deliver letters, messenger boys, so I thought, well, God gave me some talent, I might as well try and play football.
Great. And how would you describe that? I mean, that's the Holgate. You've probably ran to that a few times in your time here. How would you describe the feeling of scoring in front of the Holgate?
Same feeling as I got wherever I scored. One of elation.
Right.
And one of pleasure.
Good.
And one of having... They use phrases nowadays called job satisfaction. Now, I didn't know what that meant in my bloody day, but my day was sticking the ball in the net. And I assumed I got job satisfaction.
Great, okay.
I did it more than most people.
And you scored quite a few goals for Middlesbrough in those days, but maybe a lot of people think you should have won more caps than the two that you did for England.
Yeah, I wish I'd have been working for the Football Association. I would have won more.
Do you feel maybe that you were perhaps a little bit too controversial and maybe that held you back in playing?
I wasn't controversial at all. I was just a wee bit different to them.
Outspoken, maybe?
Well, I wasn't too outspoken, actually. But I was a wee bit different to them.
When you look back at your Middlesbrough days, I mean, there was a lot of goals and it was a great team. I mean, I'm sure you could name a lot of the players that you played alongside there. You don't need any reminder of the likes of Halliday, Day, Peacock.
Well, Lindy Della Penna comes straight to mind because I used to work with Lindy, Uglini, Roland Uglini, and Dickie Robinson was centre-half when I first started. And you can keep going and going. When I started to get on a wee bit, it was Alan Peacock, Derek McLean, Billy Day, Holiday on the left. He was an absolute bloody rake from Barnsley. Still is, actually. But nice with it. He got away with it. And good player, actually.
One of the old boys who did make the final day at Ayresome Park was Clough's old striking partner, Alan Peacock. Peacock, a player who spent his entire career in the second division, but still managed to get an England call-up for the 1962 World